Hi there, it's Edgar Allan Poe. I am an American writer of the Romance genre, a poet, critic, and journalist. My life was not easy. I became an orphan when I was just a child. In need of money, I started working as a writer of short stories and as a critic writer in some contemporary journals. In fact, I am considered the master of short stories, and that's why these girls have chosen to study one of them for their project.
Hello everybody, we are Arjani
and Marta,
and we are going to talk about Poe's tale, Some Words with a Mummy.
Some Words with a Mummy was first published in 1845 in American Review, a week journal.
The plot starts with an unknown narrator who received a letter from a doctor inviting him to a mummy dissection.
When he arrived at the doctor's house, there were more scientists and doctors waiting to open the coffin where the mummy was being kept.
After opening some packages, they finally arrived at the corpse.
It was well conserved and looked as if it were alive.
They started experimenting with it and electrifying different parts of its body.
With the first shock, the mummy,
who had his eyes open at the beginning,
closed his eyes, making the scientists terrified.
They continued electrifying the body's nerve, and the mummy kicked one of the doctors with its leg.
With the third shock, the mummy woke up and started giving a speech saying how surprised he was with the way they were treating him.
It was at this moment when the scientists started explaining to the Egyptians their advances, discoveries, inventions, and how their society works.
As they were trying to explain how advanced they were, the mummy wasn't surprised with anything they were saying.
Because the Egyptian society was more advanced in his days than in theirs.
The mummy also explained that he was mummified in a catatonic state and that he was part of the scarab race,
which meant that the brain and guts were kept inside of the body.
Due to this fact and the progressions they made in mummifying, he was able to stay alive all those years.
The tale is written in the period of Jacksonianism.
It appears as a political impulse tied to slavery, the subjugation of Native Americans, and the celebration of white supremacy.
Poe is recognized as a neutral writer because he never defended a political party, but he criticized them.
In fact, here he is criticizing the point that white men are superior.
However, Poe's narrative technique is fundamentally ahistorical.
The tale self-consciously presents itself as a time capsule for future excavation.
The story focuses on the comparison of both societies,
ancient Egypt and 19th century,
and it's a critical analysis of the superiority complex that men have.
First, while the scientists are explaining their advancements, the Egyptian argues that his ancestors had already improved all those aspects.
Furthermore, Poe uses the character of the Count to do a judgment about science advances at that time.
However, the mummy left the new century scientists speechless by telling them that they have not changed a thing.
Regarding the characters of this story, there are a lot of unknown doctors and scientists, including the narrator who never gives his name.
Nevertheless, we know the name of Dr. Pononer, Mr. Cleedon,
with whom Poe identifies himself,
Mr. Silverback Buckingham, and the mummy, a mistake.
Furthermore, the analysis of the Egyptian count's name is very interesting.
It is a composed word, all a mistake or all a mistake.
With it, Poe emphasizes the reference to the explanation that the mummy gives about how the improvements of the 19th century are a mistake.
This tale is easy to follow.
It talks about science in many ways.
Although we don't have a lot of knowledge about Egyptian culture or medicine, we can understand what the author wants to portray because he explains it in detail.
It is also very funny because of its satirical genre.
We enjoyed reading this tale, and it is a strange one full of surprises.
So it is highly recommended to all of you.
Go home and read Poe!